This rivalry goes beyond or outside football. Nigerian men have convinced South African women that they are the best. A tough game in the middle field. Two is that whenever Zaida has the ball, Lookman will go on his side and make it look like he plays as a winger. One lucky thing about Bafana is that we have two right backs in the field. That's our strength. Iwobi is a good attacking midfield, but he doesn't give much defensively. So if we congest that midfield and force one defender to come out of their defensive positions, we might be able to create a lot of chances. Tonight, 7 p.m. South African time, takes place the biggest rivalry in Africa, Nigeria versus South Africa. This rivalry goes beyond or outside football. It is a rivalry between Nigerian men and South African men, because Nigerian men have convinced South African women that they are the best, and South African men have convinced Nigerian women that they are the best. This rivalry is a rivalry between who provides the nicest food. It is a rivalry that stems from the fact that Nigerian men have conquered or occupied one of the two areas in South Africa, which is Hillbrow in Johannesburg and Sunnyside in Pretoria. How do the two teams set up? Nigeria sets up with a 3-4-2-1 formation, while Bafana sets up with a 4-2-3-1 formation. Looking at the two formations, it is clear that it will be a tough game in the middle field. Both teams will struggle to have the ball in the middle field, because it is clear that the middle field will be congested. Nigeria has scored 6 goals so far, and Bafana has scored 6 goals also. Nigeria has only conceded 1, while on the other hand, Bafana has only conceded 2 goals. Now, it is surprising because there's a lot of Nigerian men that believe that this will be a walkover. Looking at the two stats, this will never be a walkover. This will be a tough and a close match. Now, how does Nigeria play? Nigeria sets up in this manner. The way they play in this manner. Number one, they'll start the ball from the back, but to penetrate a team, this is how Nigeria penetrates a team. It's either they penetrate a team through balls, or what they'll do, they'll use their wing backs. Now, this is where Nigeria gets dangerous, because they use the left-hand side more than they use the right-hand side. They use Zaidu and Lookman more compared to Ola, Aina, and Moses Simon. What they do is that whenever Zaida has the ball, Lookman will go on his side and make it look like he plays as a winger. Lookman doesn't play as a winger, but he plays behind the striker. Whenever Zaida has the ball, Lookman goes outside the middle field and goes to the left-hand side to get ready to receive the ball from Zaida, so that he can be the one who provides the crosses for Osimhen. They do that often. That's why whenever one of the center backs makes a mistake and goes out, or the right back gets caught out of position, and the center back is forced to go mark Zaida. A space opens for Lukman. That's how they create most of their chances, or that's how most of their goals come. Now, Bafana needs to make sure that Mutau doesn't overlap. Mutau mustn't overlap. And one lucky thing about Bafana is that we have 2 right backs in the field. That's our strength. That's our strength, because we have 2 right backs in the field and on the wing, which Nigeria uses the most. Now, we will be able to close that flank with these 2 right backs, because Zaida will not have much space to go forward to be able to pass the ball to Lukman, who then try to look for Osimhen. I believe tonight Lukman and Zaida will be off. They might not be able to play at all, because on that flank we are the strongest when it comes to defending. One flank that they can use and try to create chances or try to penetrate us, and it might actually work, it is the left hand side, the side of Ola Aina and Moses Simon. That side where the side of Opre Mudiba, they can try to catch us on that side, because I said it on my previous reviews that Mudiba is not a good defender. He's good going forward, but defending, he's average. Now they can look to penetrate us on that side, on that flank. When it comes to Osimhen, I don't know if this is a blessing or what, but Osimhen didn't join the squad later on for training. The reason being is that medical needed to assess him. This might be a blessing in disguise for Bafana, because it looks like he might be playing with a bit of an injury. And judging from the fact that he'll be faced with passing the dragon himself, Mvala, and we know how hard, I'm not condoning it, but we all know how rough Mvala is. I think Osimhen will leave the field first half. That's my take. I think he'll leave first half. I don't see him coming back second half. He might be lucky to come back second half. I'm not condoning that Mvala must injure him. No, but I know Mvala is an African. Mvala is a true African. Remember, football is a contact sport. Now, going to how we might try to penetrate Nigeria. Bafana might try to use long balls and also build up from the middle. Long balls might not work against Nigeria, because they are the ones with the strongest defense in this AFCON tournament so far. So long balls might not work for us today. What we need to work on today is to put the ball on the ground and make it run on the ground. Unfortunately, today we have to rely on Pesitao. Pesitao has to come to the field today. Pesitao has to show up, because it is confirmed that Masego is ruled out of AFCON, so he won't play any further match. So we are forced to rely on Pesitao, and I hope he comes to the party. And he might come to the party, because if you check our last game, he did do a couple of right things on our past game, or on our previous game. And once Pesitao comes into the field, or once he starts showing up into the match, I'm telling you, Nigeria will have a lot of problems. The Nigerian defense will have a lot of problems. Now, how will we penetrate the middle field? This is how. Iwobi and Onyeka. Onyeka is a good destroying midfield. Iwobi is a good attacking midfield, but he doesn't give much defensively. Now, remember, we have two players that are good going offensively in our midfield, which is Mukwena and Nshishi. These two players might help us dominate the midfield because Iwobi won't assist Onyeka. They are destroying midfield. So, from building from the middle, we stand a chance because of Iwobi. Iwobi, I think, is their weak man in that midfield because he doesn't give them much defensively. So if we congest that midfield and force one defender to come out of their defensive positions, we might be able to create a lot of chances for ourselves. Now we might need the help of Mutiba to speak with his brother Calvin Besey to tell him, you know what, help us to win today. Make a couple of mistakes, because I don't know if you've noticed, those two look alike. So that's why I'm saying Lebo Mutiba's brother Calvin Besey. So Mutiba needs to speak with his brother from another country and ask him, you know what, brother, commit a couple of mistakes today. Yeah. So this will be a close match, as I've said already. In terms of my score predictions, it might not be a huge score, but football is football. Anything can happen. So I'll keep my score to 1-0 in favor of Bafana or 2-0 in favor of Bafana. If things don't go our way, the game might end 0-0 and go to extra time and penalties. And on penalties, as I usually say, anything can happen. Anything can happen on penalties. Penalties are for anyone to take. You can't bet on penalties because even though we have the strongest keeper, but you cannot bet on penalties because, yes, we have the strongest keeper, but we saw how horrible we were when it came to kicking those penalties. So what we must do on this game, kill it 90 minutes. That's all. I have a feeling that Hugo Broos might try to play for a 0-0. I have a feeling that he might try to take the game to penalties, which will make watching the game a torture for us South Africans. But I hope he doesn't take the game like that. He doesn't do that. He goes to the game as we went to all our previous games, except the one against Tunisia, where we went for a point. So whoever thinks that Nigeria will have a walkover today, he's making a mistake. Nigeria won't have a walkover today. It will be a tough match for them, and it will be a tough match for Bafana. Now, that's all for me. Like, share, and subscribe to All Things SA Football. Thank you.